Welcome back once again. The Independent National Electoral Commission noticed to political parties for them to fix their primaries and submit their elective positions and candidates ahead of this particular stated date is what has led to the APC rallying round the clock to now fix their primaries. The APC, as you could see on your screen, has now scheduled to hold their presidential primaries, their Senate primaries, House of Representatives, governorship primaries, and House of Assembly inclusive. Now, this is what has led to the urgent meeting and order Bola Ahmed Tinubu has issued to all state governors, especially those of them from the APC. Now, drawing near to Rivers State, Similayo Fubara is the governor of Rivers State, and remember, he decamped from People's Democratic Party to APC. As we speak, an order has now been issued. Know that and know it clearly that the governor of Imo State, being Hope Uzodinma, remember, is now being chaired as the elective leader of the primaries in APC, and he's also the leader of All Progressive Congress in APC forum. This is a directive that is now making Nyesom Wike to run haywire, because as we speak, an order has now mandated that every House of Representative member, House of Senate, House of Assembly member must go and report to their state governors to tell their state governors their intention for contesting or probably to return. The mandate of returning every APC member to their respective political seat is now being voided by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm going to be showing you in full context what has made Nyesom Wike's allies to be begging and rallying around Similayo Fubara's office and rallying around Similayo Fubara, begging him that he should endorse them. Furtherance, remember, these same persons that are begging Similayo Fubara are Nyesom Wike's allies, and they are not loyal to Similayo Fubara. They are only loyal to Nyesom Wike. And also remember that Nyesom Wike is in PDP and Similayo Fubara is the leader of APC. So with this particular order that has been issued, that every political personnel that wants to clinch back on his seat should go back to the state governor. What is the fate of Martin Amehule and his co-24 lawmakers that made effort to impeach Similayo Fubara? I'm going to be showing you in full context the order and the recent meeting that Bola Ahmed Tinubu held with these state governors recently. But before I do that, listen attentively to Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, Emir of Kano State, where he went as far as lashing it clearly on Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration, stating, if you are not paying subsidy and you have the money, why are we still borrowing? If the subsidy has ended, citizens should begin to see stronger public finances and practical benefits across the economy. Listen attentively to me, and when we come back, we'll continue.
I have always said the subsidy regime was unsustainable. We cannot continue supporting foreign refineries when we're an oil-producing country, keeping refineries open abroad while we're not doing our own. Today, we have a situation where we have our own domestic refinery. We're not importing petroleum products. We're even exporting to Europe, and this is very good for the economy. Artificial exchange rates, especially when you're printing money, cannot work. There was going to be a devaluation. Now, so for me, removing subsidy or liberalizing exchange rate, these are good interventions. Now, were they done at the right time? Those are certain questions. And were there other things that should be done that have not been done? These are other issues. And I think we must make that decision. So it's not enough to say, oh, they removed subsidy. You had to. When you get to a point where 100% of your revenue goes into debt service, you cannot continue. Where is the money going to come from? However, if you decide to remove subsidy and liberalize exchange rate in an environment of very loose monetary conditions, before you have tightened money supply, the naira drops to a bottomless pit. Okay, so that was a timing issue. Okay, secondly, we've removed the subsidy. We're not spending it. What we should now see is fiscal consolidation. You cannot remove wastages and continue borrowing. Higher thing, and I've said this before. So you need to see the benefits. So if you're not paying the subsidy and you've got the money, why are we still borrowing and borrowing? But what are we borrowing for?
Welcome back once again. On a sincere note, the statement made by Sanusi is a clear one. For crying out loud, there is no reason for this government to probably come back to campaign or probably tell the masses that they should re-elect them back, because you removed subsidy and yet the money that was supposed to be channeled to other sectors are not being channeled. The abject poverty and hardship is still hitting hard. Irrespective of that, let's not digress. Let us now move straight to what has made Nyesom Wike and his allies giving them sleepless nights, especially in Rivers State following the order. As you could see on your screen, Governor Similai Fubara was in attendance with Bola Ahmed Tinubu and other governors, which they have now backed what we call consensus primaries. Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Thursday held a closed-door meeting with governors elected on the platform of All Progressive Congress APC, including Similai Fubara, at the State House at Abuja. The meeting is part of the ongoing consultation between the president and key stakeholders within the ruling party ahead of the future political activities. Speaking to journalists after the meeting, Niger State Governor Bin Umar Bago said the president reiterated his support for the adoption of either direct primaries or a consensus arrangement in selecting party candidates. Bago explained that the president emphasized the need for unity within the party, urging members to adopt methods that would strengthen cohesion and ensure stability across party ranks. He added that the governors are aligned with the president's position, noting that consultations will continue among party leaders to reach broad agreement on the referred mode of primaries. The meeting comes amid growing discussions within the APC over internal party processes and preparations for upcoming electoral cycle. Sincerely speaking, this is a notice to tell you that APC does not want any internal crisis within their political party. What they did with Nyesom Wike come to in 2023, they are done with him. They don't want him with his allies to bring this confrontation and issues within this political party called APC. In furtherance, as you could see on your screen, there is serious begging right now. There is a serious begging ongoing on behalf of those Rivers lawmakers who moved to the All Progressive Congress. Remember, these are allies of Nyesom Wike, Martin Amehule and co. They were using the Abuja Big Daddy, being Nyesom Wike, and APC stewards trying to secure automatic tickets, none to avail. But the game has changed, with Hope Uzodinma holding things down as chairman of the All Progressive Congress Forum, acting as Fubara shield that federal might they were depending on is no longer effective. There is a beginning, they are now beginning to realize it, that Abuja connection they were boasting about has shifted. The line now goes straight to government house being held by Similai Fubara. Remember that an order has been issued to each and every one of them according to the APC criterion in their political party that they don't want internal crisis. They have mandated that everyone should get back to their state governor to solicit and tell their intention to their state governor other than running to Abuja. So you see that the APC are trying to harmonize their home. Now, this is a way wire for Nyesom Wike, because these same allies, seeing themselves stooping so low to probably meet Similai Fubara, is against Nyesom Wike's doctrine. Remember, there has been plot of Nyesom Wike not making or not wanting Similai Fubara to return come 2027. So let it be put out there for those who may not understand the political, Rivers State political tune. Similai Fubara is not quiet because he's weak. He's quiet probably to make things to know that things have already been settled within the party's lineage. So Nyesom Wike is still talking, still pushing, but that style needs response to work right now. What response is missing is the fact that the APC has now directed every political stakeholder or political aspirant to return back and seek acceptance from each state governor. The question is, will Nyesom Wike and his allies stoop so low within their ego to meet Similai Fubara ahead of 2027 to tell him his intentions? And with Similai Fubara obliged to that, remember that Similai Fubara has his own allies too. So the ball in the River State political space falls under Similai Fubara. That is the more reason why Nyesom Wike is about losing out. So there is every tendency that he may actually tell his allies to decamp from the APC to the PDP so that he can give them the political relevance in the PDP for them to contest come 2027. Remember that you cannot have any political seat without using a political party as a driving tool to that political seat. That is exactly what is happening. So this order issued by Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the APC leadership telling governors to do this needful so that there will not be rancor in their primaries or internal party ahead of 2027 is what is obtainable. You could now see clearly that Bola Ahmed Tinubu outrightly used Nyesom Wike to destabilize opposition party and even the PDP. Now that the PDP has even issued a notice of filing candidates for presidential primaries and presidential seats ahead of 2027, it is obvious that they are trying to use it to undermine the opposition party being the ADC. All these things are masterminded by Nyesom Wike. It is obvious that the ball and the court is now in the hands of Similayo Fubara as the executive governor of Rivers State, especially. So it is left for Martin Amehule and all Nyesom Wike's allies to beckon down, beg, and continue to see if Similayo Fubara will oblige them. I decided to bring all of this to your view. What is your take regarding this particular information and exactly what is happening? Don't forget to share, like, and also hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and click on the like button. Express your view. What do you feel could be the next line of action to Nyesom Wike and his allies regarding this particular update and this particular order from APC? Don't forget to share. See you in my next